Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are tuning in, that means you just saw SpeakEasy Stage Company's production of Job, and I am sure you are eager for some additional discussion, analysis, and processing, so here we are. My name is Alex Lonati, and I am the Director of Artistic and Community Programs at SpeakEasy, and I am joined by two brilliant artists and community leaders, the Director of Job, Marianna Bassham, and Boston artist and social worker, Jade Guerra. Thank you both for being here today. We are doing things a little differently this time around, since this show's a pretty heavy one. Instead of just picking one or two performances at which to feature a post-show conversation, we thought we'd film this in advance so that all audiences would get a chance to watch this discussion. So thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, Marianna, let's start with you. You have been connected to this play for quite a long time. What initially drew you to this piece? Why did you want to tell this story?
It's a play that on page one, you look at it and you're like, oh my God, yes, I want to do this. And then you read further and you're like, yes. So that was pretty easy. It's a darker piece. It's a talky, psychologically compelling piece. And that's the kind of stuff I like, plus a little bit of extra help from our tech world, which is always really fun to work on.
And the play takes place in January 2020, but it feels very now. Yeah. Why do you think that is? What feels now about it?
One of the themes in the play is around technology and our relationships to our computers and social media, and I'm only more addicted to those things than I was in 2020. I mean, 2020, we were just about to go into this pandemic period where we got really kind of isolated in weird ways, and but since then I'm only more isolated on my phone. I mean, I can really call it an addiction. And there's a moment in this play where one character says to the other, "When was the last time you talked to somebody face to face?" And I think that question is a good question for both of them. And it's a question that, I can go days and be kind of fine. And I'm thinking I'm losing my muscles of how to deal with the world and how to engage with other people.
And people who get mad at you for calling them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Just text me. Why are you calling me?
I don't know how to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. No way.
Jade, you are a very talented actor, but you're also a mental health professionalist, which is why I was eager to bring you into this conversation. So given that background, what part of this play resonated with you?
Ooh, just almost all of it, because it's so, as you're saying in terms of it being now, people forget that mental health workers are people, one, and then also right now so many people are getting burnt out, or just the world is a lot, or they're so living on their technology that they don't know how to interact with people anymore. And I mostly work with teenagers, so it's so much the social media. So from like jump, it's like, whoa. And just the thought of like where it starts, that was like the idea of that for a mental health professional. It's like, oh God, that's kind of scary. But also you're like, okay, where is this going to go? What's going to happen next? So it's cool that it's a play, but it's also like cool that you're getting to like see all the different places that these two humans are going.
That to watch you have those reactions, I want to ask you both. We've been using the term thriller to describe this. Would you categorize this piece as a thriller?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me, at least for me.
The subgenre of psychological thriller. Yeah. Right? And a drama. I mean, I don't know. What's the Venn diagram of this? Like, I don't know.
There's like definitely like branches, because there's moments where it's just you know, the drama and the connection and the trying to, you know, bring someone to a certain place. And then there's moments where you're like, what's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both back in your seat and then edge of your seat, right? Back between the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's called that, I mean, on a basic level because it like lives in your body and it gets in there. And I think that's going on for these characters, especially for Jane. And I think, you know, it goes on for the actors and for us watching it and working on it. It's like our bodies are invested in it, and there's a certain amount of distress that also can feel good if you have like set yourself up for it. Like I go to horror movies because I'm like, I want to feel this way, and you also get so focused. Like I don't take breaks on my phone when I go to a horror movie. So yeah, it's that like focus and investment, and there's something kind of safe about that level of like
Being so dialed in.
yes, being dialed in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway, back to the mental health. I think we all intrinsically know this answer, but I want to hear it more thoroughly from you. That in recent years, how have you observed the internet making an impact on folks' mental health?
It's a lot. One, just because it's changing people's attention span, for one. And then also, there's so many different ways that, unfortunately, people have become kind of predators. So where there are things that used to have headers of like, you know, don't try this at home, don't try this at home. Now sometimes people just don't put that stuff on there, and people are trying things that can literally hurt them, or there are things that are getting to, you know, little people who don't know that they shouldn't try that, or just like basic things like Snapchat, like unfriending somebody, and how you would think like for someone like me, you unfriend me, like I don't even notice, I don't care. But like teenagers now, it's like, oh my God, we're no longer friends. And it's incredibly distressing, and they're talking about it for like 2 weeks, and it was 2 seconds of like when they could have talked to that person in person and figured out what happened. And it's a whole bunch of telephone, because the information is all dispersed through a bunch of different sieves, and the truth of it is altered a lot. So it's affecting a lot of people in those negative ways, but there's also a lot of positive. Like there are people who are able to like build up their, you know, build up their confidence on it and find their people and their friends and their homes through it. But sometimes that's a lot harder to find. So it's such a like balancing act, and like you have to, like I really think that cleansing sometimes is a very good thing. So it's like, use it, great, love it. Every once in a while you need to like put it away and see if you know how to talk to another human being without it, so that you don't lose that muscle, because everything is about the workout, and if you don't use it, you lose it.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's so much good, but there's so much bad. And if you don't already have the skills to be able to take the break from it and know when is enough.
Yeah, and like my generation, like, is very in between. Like, I grew up before and like with, so like I have all of it, so I understand the before, and like can put it down. Don't necessarily want to, but can put it down. Like kids, it's like to put it down is like it physically wants to make them sick. And it's like I don't know how to, I can't communicate with my friends. I have 6-year-olds who are like, I need an iPhone and an iPad, and you're like, do you? It's like, who's paying for that? It's just like the world.
Right, right. Now, I want to turn our conversation to the artists and our audiences, and specifically about how we take care of people, which I think for a play like this is important. And Marianna, I want to start with you because this is a really difficult show. I can only imagine what it is like for Josephine Elwood and Dennis Traynor, the two brilliant actors, to do this intense play again and again each night. So can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like in the rehearsal room? How did you build a space that took care of them as people? And how did you make sure that this work was sustainable?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you think about casting, part of that, when we were talking about like, you know, a lot of people came in and they were great, and then it's like, but who do we want to put together that I feel like are also really great in the room? I think you've spoken to this, but also like something that they're doing is it's really not their job, but they are taking care of each other. I mean, we as actors have to do this all the time. We've got to just be like, hi, we might not be best friends, but we're good. We respect each other. We're here to do some work, and there's a sense of you know, leading with an assumption of like the you know, that you're always doing your best, and that hopefully you think that of me. We're working together, right? So they're taking care of each other. They're both very good-humored people. The whole room. I mean, we've got our stage manager, our assistant stage manager. I have an assistant director. So that and the actors, and that was sort of our smaller group that we work with, and we just took care of each other. We were really kind. We checked in with each other. There's also, I mean, I know a little bit about polyvagal theory, and so like we're talking about how to help reset one's nervous system. I mean, Josephine has to do stuff that's like so costly. It looks like and sounds like psychological distress, emotional distress,
And our audiences will have seen the show, so there's no spoilers. You can reference.
Right. Okay. So yes. So your body thinks that's real too, because it's like if you make those noises, your breath, your body, it's like that is happening to me, and you can work your way out of that. There's like really specific techniques that are not really all that hard that can reset that and tell your body like, hey, that you were just pretending. Yeah,
right.
You're safe.
But it's hard to not think that you just had a panic attack.
Yes.
If you were acting like you had a panic attack.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, the breath tells you something so specific. When I was doing Blackbird here, in like 2009, like I was having a panic attack in that show, and it took me a long time to come down, and I would just go home and I just read Laura Ingalls Wilder's books in bed. And that was my little ritual. I was like, it's whatever.
I mean, we talk a lot about de-rolling of how to drop the character and remove the character from the actor, and there are a lot of like sensory elements to it of listening to music that really separates you from the character, eating a food that separates you from the character, and I know that you guys helped these actors to find comfort.
Yes, and we do have a violence and intimacy coordinator, Matt Dre, who has given them a little bit of that and will continue to do so. But how do you create ritual? And the actors do that with each other. There's a nice, easy process of just like, hi. Maybe they do a high five or high 10, and then you say, we're just working together, and then they do the work, and at the end they kind of close out with that, which just sort of puts a little bookend on the work. Yeah.
And Marianna, you're a talented director, but you are also a talented actor. Do you find that in a play like this that is so like actor and text focused, that your background in acting helped you come to the table?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope I lead with empathy and like, you know, this is my experience of working on stuff that's hard in this way, and here's the tools that I have, and I'm also here for you if you know. But I just wanted to set up a room and resources around us, and that will help the actors know that there's a net.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So Jade, let's talk about our audiences.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So people might feel a bit unsettled after seeing a play like this. And quite frankly, in 2026, people may have trouble dealing with anxieties, internet-related or otherwise, in general. And so do you have any tips for processing things like this play? Any resources you can recommend?
Well, it's similar to some of literally what Marianna did with her cast in terms of kind of de-rolling, debugging, especially from the show. I would say if you don't want to process immediately, it is good to not process immediately. You are never forced to, and it's not, we don't want like avoidance. Things, you don't want to ever like completely avoid things because then it comes back to haunt you at some later time that scares you. But in terms of you can take things and like put them aside for a moment and go and eat an orange, or go and read Laura Ingalls Wilder, or go and listen to some K-pop, whatever it is that feeds your soul. But then there are like the basic things like finding your body. In terms of anxiety, if the phone, the internet, if what you're seeing is impinging on you, you have to turn it off for a moment as well. And finding yourself in moment. So we're all inundated all the time with so many things outside of us. So literally the hardest thing for most of us to do is to sit in our bodies. And a basic flow is going through your body and seeing how your body feels in the moment. What aches, what hurts, what feels good. Then go to emotions. Am I tired? Am I hungry? Do I have a little headache? Do I feel foggy? Literally just checking in with yourself on a regular basis outside of the online, outside of other people, and knowing how you are in your body, in yourself, is a good way to ground yourself in the now, in the moment, to be able to deal with all the external. In terms of resources, whenever there is 988, but that's like a suicide line for people who are really, really struggling, and that's manned 24 hours. But then literally if you have a PCP, if you have, if you go on Mass Health or anything like that, people will direct you to mental health care providers if you feel so inclined. Just because people tend to think that when you get any kind of mental health, that it's forever. And the one thing I always tell all of my kids is like, my goal in life is to make sure that one day you can look at me and say, hey Jade, I don't ever want to see you again. That is like my goal in life, to be like, I got all the tools I need from you. I can do this by myself or with the support system that I have in place in terms of my family, my friends, whatever I have built for myself. I've built my own backpack and I don't need you anymore. So it's just, when you're dealing with like the after effects of this show, if you need to pause, take a pause, and then come back and talk about it. Because like, for instance, for me, there were certain things that popped out and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that. And then got home and was like, oh, I saw this thing and I got it, like, and then, but then sometimes like, it's just like, oh, I wanna but also having the ability to, know your boundaries with other people as well. So like you go to a show with somebody and they're like amped, like, oh my God, da, 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 da. And you're like, I get where you're coming from, and that's awesome. I need a second to process it. You know what? Like, let's get some coffee next week and then we could talk about it. Right. Because like everything in your own time. Yeah. Because I feel like we as people, we give so much of our space because of the internet. We feel like everybody can just take. Because we're like, we put it all out there now, with like Instagram and Snap, and we put everything out there in the world now for everybody to see and to like and to come back on. So it feels like to be able to say I need to hold onto my own, it doesn't feel like we're allowed to do that. We are allowed to do that. So creating your own boundaries, figuring out how you feel in your own space, and taking that time, and when you are ready, being able to have the discussion, to share, and to go from there.
That's all amazing advice, Jade. Thank you. Mm-hmm. As we wrap up our conversation, do you have any final words of advice or messages for our audience, something positive to leave them with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about what you said. It's like, give yourself the space. I'm becoming more like this, where I'll see a play or I'll see a movie and I'll go, I don't know how I feel about that. That's cool. I'm going to go find out. And so let that evolve for yourself, and seek out people to discuss things with. Get yourself to sigh. as many times a day. That's a good nervous system reset. And that animals do it. Animals are like, we think that they're like,
don't breathe.
Yeah.
People do not breathe.
Yeah.
Stop holding your breath.
You don't.
Stop holding
don't
your breath.
You need to breathe to live, and we don't.
Right. Right. So when you're, you can, like, just the easiest thing is like, lie down on your front with a little something under your head, turn your head to the side, arms down by your side, sort of like planking, like just, and you'll sigh. Lie there until you sigh, and that's like the same as an animal who's just like, they're not like actively being like, I'm comfortable. Mm-hmm. They got comfortable, and now they have a chance to really breathe. Yeah. And so you gotta go, hey body, what do you need in order to have that happen? Yeah. And if you do that a couple times a day, going to make your life better. I am not a professional, but I will give that advice any day.
Neither am I, but inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. All day, every day.
The breathing is everything. And it's part of DBT, which is a form of therapy in terms of thinking and mindfulness. Like, they literally have you sit and ground and lift and release, because everybody is usually somehow, in some way, you're holding. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what are you holding? Mm-hmm. And like, what are you pushing forward? Are you pushing your neck forward? How are you holding everything? So it's like, ground your body, breathing your body, pushing it down. Gravity already pushes you down. Why are you holding everything up here?
Right.
Well, I think everybody should take a deep breath after seeing this play. Remember to breathe. And thank you both so much. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Marianna. And thank you for joining us and taking some time past the stage to engage. Job runs through February 7th. Please tell all your friends, and for more information, visit SpeakEasyStage.com. Have a happy, healthy 2026, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.